Hello and welcome to Club 8, Episode 1 of The Pilgrimage. My name is Jamie. Coming up on today's episode, I'm going to introduce you to Milan. So we'll start in just a moment by having a look at the squad depth screen to show you what I've got to work with. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so let's begin the tour of Milan by having a look at the squad depth screen. And as you can see, in goal, Iñaki Peña, clearly first choice keeper, and Barassa is a 2.5 star backup. At left back, we've got Ignacio and Vitasiek, both 3 stars, so they will more than likely share the left back duties. At centre back, we've got Kumbula and Del Grosso, who are both 3 star, but that is essentially all we've got at centre back, so I'll need to bring in 2 more. And then at right back, we've got Calabria and Kosis Koval. Both 3 star again, so our right backs can split the workload quite nicely. At defensive midfield, we have got Vitinha, who is 3.5 stars, and Del Grosso. In fact, Del Grosso shouldn't really be in there. I'll leave him in there for now, but we'll look to bring in another defensive midfielder as well. In central midfield, we've got Brahim Diaz, Bongar, Jairo Molina, and Mikel Diaz. So at some point, we will look to strengthen that department of the team as well. But for now, we've got Diaz and Bongazzoni who are clearly the first choice pairing for central midfield. On the left hand side, Rafael Leao is just better than second choice Careca, who is also second choice on the right at the moment, so we'll probably need to strengthen one of the wings, possibly even both. Gil Pons is first choice on the right hand side at 3.5 stars, and up front we've only really got Franceschini, who is a 4.5 star striker. There isn't anything behind him that isn't already accounted for in another position, so ideally we'll be looking to bring in a striker as well. So I will come back at the end of pre-season once we've got all the signings in that we want to bring in, and to show you how the pre-season friendlies have gone. So I'll talk to you again in a moment. Okay, it's now the 20th of August, and as you can see, with 6 days to go until the first league match of the season, we've been incredibly busy in the transfer market. Loads of players have gone, either on loan or permanently. We've raised £4 million. It says here we've spent £183 million, but the vast majority of that is in future instalments and add-ons to the transfer fees. So the fees you see here are not the fees we've paid up front. First player in was actually arranged before I arrived, and it is Owen Wijndal from Real Madrid on a free transfer. So we'll have a look at him, and he's a decent player and is a left back. 3.5 star ability, obviously no more potential. He's 34. I wouldn't have signed him myself, but very useful player nonetheless. So that's Owen Wijndal. The next player through the door, who I did I did personally sign was Christian Romero for £35 million from Hertha Berlin. But again, remember that is made up of instalments as well. I think the initial fee was about 10 million. And he's a 22-year-old Colombian worth between 57 and 78 million, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential centre-back. So very happy to get him in. The next player through the door was Bas van Rooyen from PSV Eindhoven for a quoted 30 million. As I say, again, initially I think it's around about £10 million. He's 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, defensive midfielder, very, very promising 20-year-old Dutch player with 33 under-21 caps already, yet to be capped at full Dutch level, but I'm sure his time will come very, very soon. And the next player through the door after Bas van Rooyen was Helge Larsen from Rosenborg. He's a 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential central midfielder. And at just 18 years of age, this guy's got scary potential. He could be very, very good indeed. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. After Helge Larsen, the next player through the door was David Vanavong from Bayern Munich. And again, the initial fee was about 10 million, although it's quoted at 30 with a potential cost of 35. And David Vanavong is 3.5-star current ability and potential, 22-year-old Frenchman, central midfielder, very good player indeed. Very happy to have him on board. Okay, and finally, and this one I'm really excited about, Pedro from Tottenham. Again, the initial fee is nowhere near the 80 million quoted, but we'll have a look at him. And he's a striker, and he's 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. So he's going to be a player for the future at the age of 22. He's going to be the long-term striker at the club, and I'll be back in a moment to show you the squad depth screen, to show you exactly what the squad looks like, and we'll then look at how pre-season went. Okay, so let's take a look then at the squad depth screen, beginning in goal. And as you can see, we've got Iñaki Peña, 3.5-star goalkeeper, backed up by Aitor Barasa at 2.5 stars. We've got 4 players who can play left back: Inacio, Vitashek, Veindel and Calabria. We've got up to 8 players who can play left back, so I'll open that one up so that we can see it in more detail. Kumbula, Inacio, Vitashek, Del Grosso, Veindel and Romero are all 3-star, and then we've got Diaz and Kosis Koval who are 2.5, and Bas van Rooyen at 2-star, although he's more of a defensive midfielder. So that's the left back situation. Centre backs, we've got again a decent set of options: Kumbula, Inacio, Vitashek, Del Grosso, Veindel, Romero, all 3-star. Diaz 2.5, as is Kosis Koval, and Bas van Rooyen features again at 2-star, but again that's not really his position. So that's the centre backs shown to you. And at right back we've got the trio of Calabria, Kostis Koval and Vitashek appearing again. Defensive midfield led by 3.5-star Vitinha, Del Grosso, Veindel, Helge Larsen and Calabria are also featuring there, along with 3 more players. So we'll just open that up so that we can have a look at them. Kostis Koval, Bas van Rooyen and the 1-star David Vanavong, but obviously that's not his regular position, so discount him really. In central midfield, Vitinha again leads the way, but you've also got Helge Larsen and Vanavong, 2 of the recent arrivals at 3.5 stars. Brahim Diaz and Bongazoni at 3-star, who were here already. And I'll just open it up so that you can see beyond Bongazoni, you've got Del Grosso at 3-star, Calabria, Molina, Diaz and Van Rooyen at 2.5 stars. So plenty of depth in central midfield. And we then move on to the wingers. You've got Leao, Diaz. Veindel can also play on the left wing, and Careca just behind them at 2.5 stars. And on the right you've got the 4-star Franceschini, although he's better up front. And then behind them you've got Gil Pons at 3.5 stars, Brahim Diaz, Pedro at 3-star, Leao at 2.5, and a further 2 players, we'll have a look at them. Careca also 2.5 stars, and Jairo Molina, who you can probably discount at 2 stars from playing there. So that's the right wing. And up front we've now got Franceschini, Brahim Diaz, who is again, he can basically play anywhere across the front 3 at 3-star. So he's a very versatile and useful player. We've also got Pedro, the new signing, and Rafael Leao as the 4th choice striker at 2.5 stars, although he is primarily going to be used as a left winger. And that concludes the squad lineup. So I will come back in a moment to show you the pre-season results. Okay, well, as you can see, we have gone through the entirety of pre-season unbeaten. We began with a 4-0 home victory against Anderlecht. We then drew 2-2 with Wolfsburg at home. We then played Atalanta on a neutral venue and drew 1-1. We then played Fiorentina again on neutral venue. We were on tour, beat them 5-1, and Sampdoria were dispatched 6-0 again as part of the pre-season tour. We then played Red Bull Salzburg at home, beat them 2-0, Club Brugge and beat them 3-1, and finally Ludogorets Razgrad and beat them 5-3. A little bit concerned about the number of goals we conceded in that one, but delighted to have scored as many as we have. And I'll be back in a moment to tell you what's coming up on the next episode. Okay, with pre-season all wrapped up, the squad introduced, it's time to tell you what's coming up on the next episode. And in a slight break with tradition, I'm going to play the first few games off camera, and I'm going to bring you back for the opening Champions League game. As yet, we don't know who that's against, but we do know that it's taking place on the 20th of September. So I will bring you back for the opening Champions League game, and then the home Serie A game against Roma. And if you've enjoyed that, please leave a nice thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for Monday to Friday Football Manager videos. Don't forget to leave me a comment as well to let me know what you liked and what you'd like to see more of. And thank you very much indeed for watching. Goodbye.